You have a choice each day you live regarding the attitude you choose. The longer I live, the more I realize the importance of choosing the right attitude in life. It is more important than your past, more important than your education or your financial situation. It's more important than your circumstances, your successes or your failures. More important than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than your appearance, your giftedness, or your skills. It will make or break a company. It will make the difference between a happy home or a miserable home. You have a choice each day you live regarding the attitude you choose. You cannot change the years that have passed. You cannot change the daily tick of the clock. I'm convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I respond to it. The same is true for you.
Our attitude is our thought life turned inside out. It's something that's in us, but everybody sees it. It comes out in facial expressions, comes out in body language. It's the posture that we decide to take toward our life.
Your attitude is an inward feeling expressed by outward behavior. That's why your attitude shows without you saying a word. What is an attitude? It's the portrait of your mind. It's the advancement of your real self. Its roots are hidden, but the fruit is always visible. It's our best friend, or it's our worst enemy. It draws people to us or repels people from us. It's never content until it's expressed. It will determine your success or your failure.
But our attitudes are the most important factor that determine our success and our potential here in this life. President Thomas Jefferson said, "Nothing can stop the man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal. Nothing on earth can help the man with a wrong mental attitude." If you've got the right attitude, nothing can stop you. If you've got a wrong attitude, nothing can help you. Our attitudes determine our success and happiness more than any other factor in our life.
How many of you have seen people with the right attitude do nearly impossible things? How many of you have seen people with the wrong attitude hardly do anything? Your attitude makes all the difference. Every circumstance in your life today, your attitude helps you decide whether it's a blessing or a burden, whether your challenge is inspiring you to believe God for more or it overwhelms you and you're frustrated by your circumstance. Your attitude is what you use to determine whether or not you're going to give God the praise and the thanks that He's worthy of, or you're going to complain to everybody you meet about what you're lacking in your life.
Studies show that your attitude can have a greater impact on your success than your IQ. You can be extremely talented, have incredible potential, but if you don't have the right attitude, it will keep you from rising higher. You can't change other people. You can't change how you were raised. A lot in life we can't control, but one thing we can all control is our attitude.
Attitude is more important than aptitude in your success and happiness in life. It's not your aptitude. It's not how smart you are. It's not how talented you are. You give me a less talented person any day with a good attitude rather than a talented person with a bad attitude. I can do more with that person. Your attitude is paramount in your life. I have a picture in my office at home. It's a picture of a ship on a very troubled sea. And the reason I have that picture there is it reminds me of this saying: a calm sea never produced a good sailor. An easy life never produced a great person. It's not what I'm going through, it's how I'm going through it.
You know, I would much prefer to work with somebody who has a good attitude and is not as skilled I'd much rather work with somebody like that than to work with somebody that's highly skilled but has a stinky bad attitude. Amen? So it's really not our aptitude that gets us promoted in life nearly as much as it is our attitude.
Your choice of attitude is, without question, the single most important choice you make every day. A.W. Tozer wrote, "Our attitude toward things is likely to be, in the long run, more important than the things themselves." The general public is watching, whether we like it or not. And our attitude is what they remember. And unfortunately, what they never forget. Far more than what we may preach or write or sing or say. And some of you have already begun a habit of negativism toward life. Already developed a spirit of entitlement, as if you've got this earned or you deserve certain treatment. We need to do a real revisiting of our attitudes.
Put your foot down and say, I refuse to go through life with a bad attitude. I am not going to let what happened to me, who did me wrong, what I didn't get, keep me from becoming all I was created to be. God, I know you being for me is more than the world being against me. That's what allows God to show out in your life. But too often, we're holding on to the hurts, disappointments, the things we don't understand. That poisons our attitude, steals our passion. You have to let it go. This is a new day.
You see, the aggressive response when you don't choose a good attitude is to blame or to have self-pity. Both of them are pathetic. What an absolute waste. I made a list. Blame never affirms, it assaults. Blame never restores, it wounds. Blame never solves, it complicates. Blame never unites, it separates. Blame never smiles, it frowns. Blame never forgives, it rejects. Blame never forgets, it remembers. Blame never builds, it destroys.
Some of you think you got all these problems and you're blaming everything on your problems, but it's not your problems, it's your attitude toward your problems that is the problem. Viktor Frankl was in the concentration camps, and he said, you can take away every right that I have, but there's one thing you cannot take away from me, and that's my attitude. It's mine. And if I want to have a good one, nobody can make me have a bad one.
The choice of attitude made all the difference in the life of Viktor Frankl. They will not make me hate. I will live in hope. They will not make me bitter. I will forgive. They will not make me mean-spirited. I will love. They cannot make me anything I do not choose for myself.
Your attitude is yours, and nobody can force you to have a bad one if you don't want to. I'm going to say that again. Your attitude is yours, doesn't belong to somebody else. And nobody can make you have a bad attitude if you don't want to have a bad attitude. Nobody. Amen? How many of you actually really believe that? See, maybe we don't think about it like that. We think, well, you know, I'm just like this because I've got all these problems. But being like that doesn't solve your problems. It doesn't change your problems. What it does is it makes you miserable and probably most of the people around you. Nobody enjoys being around somebody for very long that's got a bad attitude.
You have a choice each day you live regarding the attitude you choose. How important it is that we let that attitude stay positive.
You can change the way you live by changing the way you think. I hope that comes in. You can change the way you live by changing the way that you think. I clipped this. This is something that Chuck Swindoll wrote. It's one of the finest things he wrote in my estimation. He says this: the longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, a home. The remarkable thing is that we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one thing we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes.